What's going on? This is Ryan with Automatic Comics, and up next I have got the second half of that CGC unboxing for the Fast Track Economy submission that I did. You don't need to watch the other half first. You can watch this one and go back to that other one. It doesn't really matter. It's just different sets of books that I'm going through. I did not check the grades, so let's see how I did. Right, so before we get started, please remember to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. I have the remainder of this CGC unboxing. Should be, I think, like 12 books left from this Fast Track Economy submission. I didn't really talk about the costs in the last one, but just I know some people like to get an idea what it costs to get these books graded. I think it comes down to around $80 per book, if I remember correctly, for a Fast Track Economy. That's around what I end up spending because I pay Fast Track for the pressing and I pay Fast Track for the grading because I'm impatient and I don't want to wait forever to get the books back. I've talked about that before. With the economy submissions to CGC, Fast Track is the best value in grading. It cuts your submission time from like a year to, I got these back in 7 days. So that just gives you an idea what the difference is there in the time. And it just costs you $15 per book, which to me, for a year wait time, that is well worth it. But let's get into this. If you haven't watched one of these before, I have not checked the grades. And so I've got my grades written down for my estimates. I'm going to bring the book out, I'll talk about it, and I will reveal the grade at the same time. In the first video, I had some pretty positive surprises, and so hopefully that trend continues. We'll see. All right, let's see where we're going to start. Okay, this is a cool one. This is Batman 148. I just like this one because it's like a Silver Age Joker cover. Wait, I don't remember what year this one's from. 1962, so relatively early Silver Age. Joker cover. I remember there was a little damage on the back, kind of along the edge. Let's see if I can see it. I don't remember where it is. I'll show it later. I don't want to accidentally see the grade, but a little damage along the back, but otherwise a very nice presenting copy of this book. I had it as a 5.5 to a 6. We got the 6. All right. Let's see if I can find that. There's like a little bit of tanning and that kind of thing. I don't remember if there was like a little chip. It's right on the edge of the case, so it's really hard to make out, but you can let's see if I get it. You see there's just like a little bit of chipping down here. And this book definitely has some tanning. I talked about tanning in that last video. I'll be interested to see what they said about any tanning on this one, because this is definitely a book with tanning. Like, you can see it along the edge. You know, it's when it's dark enough, it kind of shows through the edges of the cover. Tanning is when you get this kind of like browning effect, kind of along the edges. And I have definitely seen, it seems, CGC grading tanning more harshly lately. But yeah, I always like Joker covers, and this is a super clean presenting copy of this one, which if you look on like eBay and that kind of thing for this book, this is a really beat up book. A 6.0 is a pretty solid copy of Batman 148. So that's great. Happy with that. All right. These books they're like not in any order from what I submitted. So it's just like random. I got to find them every time. Okay, so this is Amazing Spider-Man number 78. This is the first appearance of the Prowler. I bought this one, and the seller, I think, had it as like a 5.5. I graded it as a 6 to a 6.5. I thought it looked really, really nice. It's a glossy copy, just a little bit of spine wear. Let's see how we did. Yeah, 6.5. Awesome. Yeah, I was super happy with this book when I got it, because I felt like the seller had definitely been a little conservative on it. This is another example. I've talked about these in other videos. It's got this printer crease here. You can see that. Printer creases do not impact your grade. They're a production flaw. Yeah, and you can see this is an example of one where it's on the back in the same spot. Let's see if it'll come up in the light. It's a little harder to see in the... yeah, there you go. You can see it. There's the printer crease there, kind of right under that famous artist line. But yeah, 6.5. I don't even notice the page quality. White pages. Always happy to get the white pages in Silver Age, that kind of thing. But yeah, you can see this one, just a little bit of spine wear. There's spine ticks. But other than that, it's a really, really solid presenting copy of this. Definitely a character that got really hot with that animated Miles Morales Into the Spider-Verse. Can't remember if that was the name of it or exactly, but because that was one of the villains in there. So definitely a book that was hotter then, but still, I think it's an amazing Spider-Man villain from the Silver Age. You can't ever really go too wrong with those. All right. Okay, this is Action Comics number 340. This is the first appearance of the Parasite. Now, this one I was worried about tanning as well. Now, I had graded it as a 7.0, so let's check this one out. 8.0. Nice. I'm curious what they grade. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna look up this. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna cut for a second.
2,000 years later.
All right, I'm back. So yes, this one just got light cover tanning, and I've talked about. That's what I was talking about in the other video. When I see moderate cover tanning, if they give you moderate, for me, I haven't seen anything above a 6.5. I'm sure there maybe are, but that's based on recently graded books. I used to have books that had worse tanning that would get higher grades than like what's on being identified as moderate. But this one they called light tanning. So you can see the tanning around the edges there. And so this one they called light tanning and got an 8.0. So able to get well above that range. And so yeah, I mean, I really think that I think they're hitting tanning different now. Yeah, 8.0. That's awesome. So first appearance of Parasite, Action Comics 340. Yep. Happy to get an 8.0 in that one. That's great. Because that's the tough thing with Action Comics. Like it started in 1938, and so you don't have a lot of keys later on. There's not a lot of new characters that are introduced, and so you get a couple of them in there, and that's one of them. So what's next? This was another one that had I had a number of books that I had purchased from the same seller, and they all had tanning, and I'm worried about all of them. So this is Brave and the Bold number 54. This is the first appearance of the Teen Titans. A lot of people aren't big fans of this cover. I still think it's kind of a fun cover. The weather guy there kind of, he's not the best, but I still think it's a decent cover. I had this one at a 7.0, but again, depends if this one gets hit with moderate tanning. I'm worried that I'm not worried. I know I can't get that 7.0 based on what I've seen. It's going to be lower than that. So let's see. Oh, yeah, dang it. Man, and that tanning it doesn't. I'm going to check this one too. I'm going to cut again. I'm going to check this one because I bet this says moderate tanning.
A few moments later.
All right, I'm back. Yes, this one says moderate tanning. So this one, I get a 6.0. This one, light tanning. And this one, I get an 8.0. And, I mean, I don't know. So here's the 8.0 right here. Here's the 6.0. That tanning looks the same to me. I mean, at first when I looked, I thought this was the 6.0 because I thought the tanning looked worse on this one. I mean, that's frustrating. Like I don't see any difference in the tanning in these. I honestly think it looks better on this copy. I think the 6.0 looks better. This one got moderate tanning. The 8.0 got light tanning. And that's 2 full grade points, and that's hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Like, I lost a ton of money on this book because this came back as 6.0 because they said that this was moderate tanning. And then, this one they say is an 8.0 because they say it's light tanning. And I know I've got like this bright light on there and everything, so it's maybe hard sometimes to see the difference, but I mean, honestly, I think the 6.0 looks like it's darker. Ah, man. Yeah, that's like something where it's like you almost want to just be like, okay, if I get moderate tanning, it seems like it's on the edge. Do I resubmit? Is it worth it? It might be worth it for me to resubmit. If I can maybe pull like a 7 or a 7.5, something like that. I mean, I want to, let's do a close-up of that one because, yeah, so frustrating because this is a really nice copy of this book. You know, it's got this little dust shadow kind of thing, or kind of like lightning at the top. There's a small chip in the corner, but if you're familiar with this book, you know how hard this book is to get in like a clean presenting copy like this. So yeah, that's frustrating because I know I know I've lost money on that book. But you know, what you gonna do? The tanning. That's something that honestly, like now, if I know there's tanning on a book, I am not going to be paying prices above a 6.5. I will refuse to, because it's just, you can't get it. All right, so this is Captain Marvel number 27. This is the first, it's kind of like the first full appearance of Star Fox. So his first appearance, his first appearance is on Iron Man 55, you know, with Thanos and Drax and all of that. But this is kind of like the other key, or one of the other big keys for this character, because we had Harry Styles playing him in the Eternals movie, which worst movie to make an appearance in. But hopefully, you know, they end up reworking all that and we get something that's better, you know, on the next time around, and they maybe just get rid of Pip the Troll entirely, because that was awful. But I had this one as a 8 to an 8.5. 8.5. Awesome. Yep, super happy with that. That's a nice, clean looking copy of this book. So, and this is one that my only question really was, and I've seen a few copies. This, I'm pretty sure this is a production defect as well. I've seen a bunch of books that have that like print line in it. I couldn't tell. I was like, when I was grading it, I was like, is that a scratch or is it a print line? And I'm almost positive it's a print line. I don't know if all copies have it, that right there, but a lot of copies have that. So just something to be aware of in this one, because I think I remembered after I submitted this, I saw a really high grade copy with that, which made me go, okay, I'm almost positive then that that's just some type of printer defect. But yeah, very solid presenting copy of this. So they don't say it's the like the first full of Star Fox or anything like that. He's right there. But that's generally what people consider for this book. But early Thanos appearance, Super Skrull, all kinds of cool stuff. You know, the cosmic stuff for this one. All right, get that tanning Brave and the Bold taste out of my mouth. Move on to the next one. All right, where are you? Okay. This is Doctor Strange number 1. I had this one as a 9 to a 9.2. This is, I mean, his first self-titled is Doctor Strange 169, where it changes from Strange Tales to Doctor Strange. But this is like, I guess it's his second titled series, but the first one that starts at a number 1. This is that number 1 issue. I've never actually had a copy of this one, and I bought this one on a Facebook, I think it was a Facebook sale, and it looked like a really nice copy. So I had it as a 9 to a 9.2. Oh man, 9.4, awesome. And white pages, that's great. Yeah, the flaw on this book is this corner here, that little crease in the corner, and I wasn't sure if I could get above a 9.2 with that, and definitely did. So yeah, I mean, I've had this is one of those types of flaws where I've had books with that have gotten a 9.4 before, but I always feel like that's right on the edge, you know, having a color breaking crease, you know, like that. And another one of those things where it's like you can have color breaking creases in the 9s, they've got to be small. I mean, that's like a 1/4 inch. Like if you look at that ETA Nick grading cheat sheet that's on there, like, you know, he shows that you can have that, but everything else needs to be super, super clean, which this book is. You know, spine and everything else is very, very clean on this book. You know, it's just like that one corner. That one corner is really what, you know, it's like what keeps this book from, you know, 9.6, 9.8 type candidate. But yeah, Doctor Strange number 1 in first appearance of the Silver Dagger. But also a book that has taken a serious hit since the Doctor Strange movie. All the Doctor Strange keys have. They've all come down a lot. So that's the type of book that you want to keep an eye out for. You know, maybe it gets down to a price that you're comfortable, you know, with picking it up at. But I mean, what year was that one? 1974. So that, I mean, it's Bronze Age. There's definitely a lot of high grade copies out there. So just be aware of that. All right, this is Strange Tales. I don't remember the issue. 123, I think? Yes, Strange Tales 123. I had this one. This was a nice copy. I had this one as an 8 to an 8.5. I think it's the first appearance of the Beetle. This guy here. It's also this early. It's either the first Loki crossover or just an early crossover for Loki. Yeah, 8.0. Okay, I will take that. I mean, a high grade 1964. You know, and I would say it's a minor key. The Beetle is not a major character, and so you've got origin and first appearance of the Beetle, first Thor crossover. So I forgot about the first Thor crossover. So, but I also think it's the first Loki crossover. I think. So yeah, there's some cool stuff about this one. That's awesome. 8.0. Definitely happy with that. Now, it's one of those I wouldn't have minded if I undergraded that one and I end up with like a 9 or something. That'd be incredible, but I would happily take an 8.0 for that book. All right, how many do I have left? We got 6 left, including this one. Okay, all right, so this is Superman's Girlfriend number 70. This is the first Silver Age appearance of Catwoman. Her first appearance is in Batman number 1. So that's a book that is out of reach for pretty much all of us. But this is a book that you can get that is in a, you know, like a much less popular title. And so that makes it a little more affordable. Not everybody's collecting Superman's Girlfriend, Lois Lane. But this is definitely one of the keys. There's also that, it's like issue 106, where it's the Lois Lane is Curious Black, I think is what the cover, or it's on the cover. But this one is the biggest key from the run, I think, other than maybe issue 1. So I had this at a 5.5 to a 6. Got a 6.0. This one, I mean, this is the thing. You know, sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. Like this one, I think Raw was sold to me as like a 7.5, and I got it, and it had like a big crease on it. And I didn't think it would press out, and it looks nicer, but it definitely didn't all get out. And so, yeah, you know, I'd say this one, because this book has also come down quite a bit. So this is definitely a loss on this book, but still, 6.0 is a decent grade. The crease is really hard to see now. It used to be really obvious, but you can see it in the light there. So that's right there. But it's just, I could tell it broke paper fibers. And that's when you're out of luck. You know, if it's broken paper fibers, there's only so much you can do. Yeah, 6.0. But that's about what I expected. Like I said, 5.5 to a 6, got the 6.0. So happy enough. All right, what do we got now? All right, so I think this is Tales of Suspense 59. So this is like the first. Is this the first Cap solo story? Something like that. I think this is the first Cap solo story. I had this one at a 7.5 to an 8. I got the 8. White pages. Awesome. That's cool too. Yeah, first solo Captain America story. So yeah. Tales of Suspense number 59. A book that it got really hot for some reason for a while. I mean, and recently, not like it got hot because of the Civil War movie or anything. Like for whatever reason, this one got really hot for a little while. It's cooled down some, but still great. You know, one of those great books from the Tales of Suspense run with Iron Man and Captain America on the front. Yeah, really nice copy. The main issue, and if you're wondering, this is that distributor ink. Doesn't really impact your grade unless there's something like a ton of it on there. But the main issue with this one really was this top corner here. It's just, there's enough wear on that corner to really knock it down, but otherwise, like check out this book. Like, this is 1964. This is a really, really nice copy of this book. So, yep, 8.0 and white pages. That is awesome. Definitely happy about the little extra that you get, you know, when you get the white pages copy. All right, so we got 4 left. All right, then we got Tales of Suspense 57. If you've watched my channel in the past and you saw me get this one raw, you will recognize this book right away when I show it. So I had this one at a 4.5. This is the first appearance of Hawkeye. There's this like election sticker. Yeah, right here. LBJ for the USA, which I thought was really cool. I didn't even want to remove it. I thought that was a cool little thing, like an extra that was on there. So I was happy keeping that sticker on this book. I had it as a 4.5. Got a 4.5. All right. But yeah, I thought that was just something that was cool, like something from the time period, you know, from the election, presidential election that was on this book that I thought was really interesting. I felt it added to the book. I did not want to take that sticker off, but otherwise it's a very solid presenting copy. There is a crease, a color breaking crease you can see up in this corner here. And obviously the sticker, which effectively I kind of treat it as a stain, like a stain of that size. That's how I generally treat a sticker. But otherwise, really solid presenting copy of this book. So yeah, 4.5. Another book that has come down a lot. That book has come down a lot. I mean, I'm probably losing some money just getting it graded, but that was one where I kind of wanted to test my grading with that book, because I wasn't certain how that sticker would hit it, because if that sticker wasn't there, I would have graded it higher. But I mean, believe me, I checked the sticker, and because it was a little loose on one side, and it would have pulled off ink and stuff from the paper. So I didn't really want to damage it for that. But I just thought it was kind of cool with a sticker on it. Okay, there are 2 copies of this in here. This is Star Trek #1. If you watched my collection buy video, one of the books I got was Star Trek #1, but the Marvel one from like 1984 or something like that. This is the gold key issue from 1967. And I had one copy that I had as a 3.0 and one as a 6.0. Let's see. What do you look like? This definitely isn't the 3.0. So, and it looks really nice. We've got a little bit of wear down in that corner there. Little spine wear, but man, this one looks like it cleaned up really nice. I wouldn't be surprised if this did better than the 6.0. Let's see. Oh, okay, got the 6.0. All right, but yeah, I mean that looks really nice. That is a nice presenting 6.0. There's a little wear on the back there. Yeah, obviously I wasn't looking at the back. So there's a couple big creases up here. But still, I mean, I wouldn't have been shocked if this got a 6.5. It's definitely not a 7, but I wouldn't have been shocked if this book got a 6.5. This is a book another one that for I don't know why, has really gotten pricey lately. There have been some big sales in this book, and not in like super high grades either. Like this has been a book that's really heated up lately. But yeah, Star Trek #1, 6.0. I would not be surprised if the next book in here is also Star Trek #1. Let's see. Yes, this one is a lower grade. I had it as a 3.0. You can see the main thing was this, like, it's almost like bug chew. I feel like it's bug chew. I'm pretty sure that's what that is on the bottom there. It's got spine wear, all that kind of stuff. It's not a terrible presenting copy. It actually cleaned up pretty nice from what I remember. I'd say it looks better than I remember it did, but I had it as a 3.0. Got a 4.0. And white pages again. Man, a lot of white pages. There's a lot of white pages in this submission. And this one has like a large crease. You can see on the back there. But yeah, 4.0. I will take that, because I bought this one maybe 2 or 2.5 years ago, when this book in a 4, or in the grade I thought it was, because I had it as a 3.0. I don't even know if I paid $100, maybe right around 100. But I don't think I even paid $100 at that point. But definitely a book that's gotten a lot pricier than that over the last couple of years, and especially more recently. So, yep, super happy with that. 4.0, white pages. All right, so what is the last book that should be in here? Oh, I think this is one book left. This was a book I sent in because I wanted to test something. I didn't know how this would grade, because it was a really nice presenting copy, but it was missing a piece on the back. This should be Strange Tales 54. That's what it looks like. Yeah, let's see if it's on the, yeah, Strange Tales 54. So you can see here, like, very solid presenting copy of this book. This is post code. That you've got the Comics Code Authority there, but it's so this is what year is this? 1957. So it's only about 2 years after the code went into effect. But they still had, it's not really horror titles. It's But it's still, it has that horror vibe to it. It's the kind of thing where you're kind of surprised that this got past the Comics Code Authority, because this has it feels like zombies. It almost feels like a human sacrifice type cover. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. But the issue, and I'll show you, is this. There's this rather large piece out of the back here. And so, you know, if you just looked at the front of this book, it would be 6.0 probably. Maybe you get lucky and get a 6.5. But with the back, I graded this at a 4 to a 4.5. And I kind of wanted to test that. I wanted to, like, this is how you learn how different flaws affect grading, that kind of thing. It's seeing graded books, but it's also submitting your own books. And so I had this one at a 4 to a 4.5. Got the 4.0. Okay. So, you know, like a piece that, you know, there's a little bit of staining, and then there's this piece that's about the size of maybe a quarter or a little less than a quarter down there. But otherwise, really solid presenting copy of this book. And, you know, I mean, like, bottom edge looks nice, corners are nice, right edge is nice. I mean, everything is really very, very presentable. There's a little crease up on the top here, but I mean, from the front, and this is why you can't cover grade, like in a bag. You cannot cover grade a book, because if this book was in a bag with a board and someone saw this and they were just selling it without taking it out, they'd be like, okay, it's probably a 6.0, maybe a 6.5. But then immediately you flip over the back and, you know, you could have a huge piece like this big out of the back, and then you're getting a 1.5 or something. But in this case, this little piece out of the back ends up with a 4.0. So that was the final book. A lot of fun books, some cool books. Definitely, this helped with some confirmation on some of that tanning, and also some frustration on that grade for that Brave and the Bold 54, because, yeah, I mean, it almost feels like that based on the other book, it should have been light tanning, or the other one should have been moderate tanning, and it should be lower. I don't know, but yeah. But overall, hopefully this helped you, you know, with your grading, you know, when you're looking at books and you're considering submitting books, all that kind of thing. So if you enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. I've got more videos over here if you'd like to watch some of my other videos, and the subscription button right here. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video.